So I've been in Athens for the last few days as a part of the EU Gangs project. The EU Gangs project, for those that don't know, it's a 4-year project featuring 5 countries. So you've got the UK, which I'm one of the representatives of, from the University College of Birmingham. And then you've got Romania, Italy, Greece, and Spain. So basically, in short, the EU Gangs project is really about equipping people with the knowledge and skills to be able to engage with a range of young people that are susceptible to violence, young people that are extreme, young people that are in gangs, or just disaffected young people in general. So my role within that was to train experts in those 5 countries, to give them the knowledge and skills to then go on to train other experts in their respective countries. So if you remember, in August, we had about 15 to 20 experts that came from those countries just mentioned, and I put them on an intense 5-day training program. That 5-day program reflected one of the courses that I run at the university called Community Safety Working with Gangs. That's actually a full-year project, but we adapted that to a 30-hour program, which we called then the trainer program, which I just explained. They would then go on to their countries to then teach other experts. From that, they all went back to their countries, rolled out the program. And if you remember, in November, I advertised a free opportunity for people to come to the university and be a part of that program. And I remember putting it up on Facebook, and within like 2-3 minutes, all the spaces was full. So we had 18 participants, which was 30 hours. We had them for, it was 3 weeks, I remember, running the program. And 2 of the first cohort from August were our facilitators on that program, Jason and Ruby. So following that program, all of the participants left with a certificate and also a level 4. Well, I had the opportunity to do a level 4 qualification to be qualified in that particular area. Is it important? Some would say it's not, but for others, there was many people that haven't been in education for many years. And one of the key things to know and understand is that around youth violence, around training people around these particular areas, if you just look around and try and get onto courses, they tend to cost anything from £1,500 to about £3,000. So one of the things that I wanted to do in my community is work with the university and give people that free opportunity so they didn't have to pay, and also get qualified. So people had that opportunity to do that. They got onto course, everybody passed. So now we're just waiting for those people to do their assignments and then continue to work within their areas. So being in Athens really was the 3rd transnational meeting. So basically we meet in different countries twice a year. So earlier on in the year I was in France. Now this year, earlier on in the year I was in France, sorry. And then now I'm in Athens, and then next year I'm in Romania. Then I'll be in Italy, and then the following year I'll be in Germany. So basically it's just trying to understand the dynamic of the gangs or the youth violence situation in the different countries. So for many of us, we understand the way that gangs operate within the UK. So obviously you've got organised criminal groups, and then you've got urban street gangs, and you just got peer groups of young people that are hanging around on the street causing trouble. In terms of France, even though they pulled out, France was very similar to us in terms of their experiences. Quite a high population of African communities, and the violence is very much similar to what we see in the UK. In terms of Italy, that was for me quite interesting in terms of the dynamic of what we all know of in terms of the mafia. So these young people that are involved in criminal activity are not so much gangs, but in terms of the context of understanding Italy in terms of the gang situation many years ago, these children are now probably 4th, 5th generation of people from organised criminal gangs. And then you've got Romania, which was also quite interesting as well. So you've got a lot of conflict between groups such as, far right extreme groups that are attacking gypsy communities and whatnot. And then you've got Greece, which is not so much what I would understand as gangs in terms of what we see within the UK, but you're finding it's very much young people that are disaffected, young people that are not socially included, marginalised within society, and they're bored. in terms of what we see in terms of the UK, in terms of funding around like youth services and whatnot. That's not prevalent here. So when you go to these particular places, Greece and Cyprus, you're just finding mass groups of young people doing nothing. And we all know what happens with boredom. If you remember the riots in 2011 within the UK, and even the riots within Greece. So we're starting to see a lot of those types of things. So for me as a criminologist, as a youth worker, is trying to understand the different contexts of the different types of groups that people are engaging, but bringing fundamental principles of how to engage with disaffected young people, regardless if they're violent, regardless if they're socially included, regardless if they're marginalized, regardless if they're extreme, etc., etc. So that's really the purpose why I've been in Athens and why I've been in those different countries within Europe, doing that. And I think it's important that I kind of put those things out there to kind of give people an idea of things that you can possibly go into and things that you can possibly do. Because once you develop an understanding or develop expertise in a particular area, the UK is not enough. There's so many issues going on in these different countries, and they're calling out for people to come with expertise and knowledge to train and support and guide people within these particular areas. But everybody's gone back to the UK now. So I've stayed for a few more days, because one of the things that always come up in terms of dealing with practitioners, I always keep talking about this concept of burnout. Now, for anybody that knows about this type of work, that it can be stressful when you're working with violent youth, when you're working with young people in gangs, or when you're working with youths that are just on the road. You know that it's 24/7. It's not 9 to 5. It's not 6 to 9. It's 24/7. So one of the things that I always try and tell people is that burnout is real. And I've been in and out of hospital for years. I've been ill due to stress, due to some of the things that young people have expressed to me, due to the things that I've heard, due to the things that I've been exposed to. So I think it's important that we take breaks, we plug out the matrix from time to time. You know, even if you have to plug out all your social networks and just deactivate all your accounts just for 2-3 weeks. I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, but it's important because your health is important. Now, the reality is that if you drop out tomorrow, the road is going to be the same. The community is going to be still the same. Work is still going to continue. So always just think about yourself, and be a little bit selfish at times, because again, you know, your health is important. That work can't run and you can't support young people unless you're 100%. So as I said, I'm staying for a few more days. I'm going to chill. I'm going to probably do some writing. I'm going to look around, do some sightseeing. And I would just encourage any people that are taking breaks at the minute is fly out, man. Do something with your family. Do something different. Because as I said, it's important. And, you know, the most impactful people within our communities are people that understand and acknowledge when it's time to take breaks, understand and acknowledge when to allow other people to take the stage, and also when we need to stand off the stage. So with that said, it's just a small, quick one, just to kind of put out to you all in the UK or Romania, Italy, Greece, and just to kind of let enough of you know that there's so much going on in the world, in Europe. And there's so much work to do within the area. So with that said, have a good break. Catch everybody in the new year. Peace.